What's going on, my YouTube family and friends? As you can see, I was able to get the new Madden NFL 10. I actually got it last night at midnight. But right now, what I'm going to do is just a quick initial gameplay impressions video, just to let you guys see how it plays out the box. So let's go ahead and start this bad boy up. EA already has some updated rosters when you go online to play. So I've downloaded those rosters, but I did add Michael Vick to the Eagles. I didn't see him in the free agents pool, nor was he in the Atlanta Falcons roster. So I had to create him, but it's okay. I gave him some reasonable stats, and I have him listed as a wide receiver. That way he can double as a halfback or a wide receiver. So let's go ahead and play. And a matter of fact, let's do the Eagles. Let's see. Let's go with the Eagles, and let's see who can we hell, I don't know. Okay, let's Eagles and Rams. No, Rams suck too bad. Eagles and Cowboys, man, I tell you what, let's do the Cowboys in their own stadium. Because I don't know if they even have the new stadium in this game yet, but let's try it out and see. And off the bat, you can see, those of you who are familiar with NCAA Football 10, where you can modify the uniform, where you can mix and match jerseys, pants, socks, shoes, helmets. So I can actually, if I wanted to go in and change their helmet and give them their old school helmet, like there's the 1960s green helmet, or I can give them the 1930 god-awful yellow and blue, or I can just stick with their default helmet. And you can do the same thing with the jersey tops. If I want to give them their old school 1960 jersey with their current pants, I could do that. Looks kind of ugly that way. But yeah, you can do all sorts of things, which is actually a nice touch. It's all about giving the user more control over his game. Default skill setting is pro, and I'll just leave it at that just for this initial gameplay. You can choose your offensive and defensive playbooks. You can choose the quarter length. And they have the quarter length by default set at 7 minutes, but it has the accelerated clock on. So what this does is after you pick your play, it'll knock off 15 seconds or run off 15 seconds, as you can see down here, unless up to a certain second. So like if you only have 15 seconds left to pick your play and you pick it, it's not going to run 15 seconds out, leaving you with 0 seconds to run the play. So we got it set on live weather. So let's go ahead and just start it up. I do have this game installed on my hard drive. Typically I take games that I know I'm going to be playing a lot and I'll install them on the hard drive, as opposed to playing them straight from the disc, just to keep a lot of that wear and tear off my lens and my DVD drive. And I would encourage all of you guys to do that.
In Arlington, Texas, it's about a 20-mile drive to downtown Dallas.
They're really trying to improve their whole presentation of Sunday football.
Here, folks, my partner Chris Collinsworth. We're looking forward to another great NFC East battle.
I don't care if you're playing in this game, refereeing this game, watching this game as a fan, or broadcasting this game. The minute you walk into this stadium, you feel the intensity between these two great rivals.
So for the first time, you actually see players on the field without their helmets on.
Presented by Snickers.
And it's the actual head. So I'll pick tails. Haha, won the coin toss. Wow, they do have that 50-yard scoreboard on the Dallas Stadium. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that thing, man. That's ridiculous. A 50-yard jumbotron.
Receive to begin the game.
So the presentation of this game is a lot better compared to the past, but honestly, I still don't think it's up to par with how ESPN 2K5 was.
He's tackled at the 32-yard line.
All right. So a couple quick things I wanted to touch on. Going into the settings, I know that one of the big things they changed this year was the speed in the game. You can go down here and this is where you can change your adjustment. They have 3 new play cameras. They have the standard, which is the one we've been used to playing over the past few years. You have the wide and you have the zoom. The wide view, I actually like this a lot because it enables you to see the entire field and also really immerses you into the fans in the stadium. So I'll be switching up and showing you the difference between the two. You can choose the frequency of injuries by using that slider, the fatigue as well, and see game speed. So you can change this from slow, normal, fast, very fast, or very slow. So I'm going to do normal because even normal is not the normal speed we've been used to. Normal is still slower than the speed that we've been playing in Madden in recent titles. Player minimum threshold, and this right here, once I start to experiment with this setting, it may be very valuable, because what this setting is, based upon what the information says below, it says raises or lowers the minimum actual in-game speed for players. A low setting will create the greatest speed difference between the slowest and the fastest players in the game. A higher setting will narrow the disparity between slow and fast players. So basically, if you don't want your players to break away regardless of their speed, if you don't want them to always, if they get in the open and completely can break away, if you want a challenge, then you bump this slider up, higher than 50. If you want to be able to break away a little bit better, if your team is not that fast, then you can bump that slider down. It's just all up to you. You have auto instant replays. A lot of people, from what I hear, didn't like in some of the previous Madden titles where you couldn't bypass the replays. It's like once that automatic replay started, you were like locked into it. I myself, I like the replays. I think it adds more to the broadcast and the presentation value of the game, so I'll leave that on. Coach mode, you have that if you want to use that, and also the EA Sports backtrack. I really don't care about that. I usually skip it whenever it comes up, but it's still there. And fight for the fumble, leave that on. That's a pretty cool feature this year. Alright, so I won't go through all these other things, but I mean they're pretty much self-explanatory. Penalties, player skill, CPU skill, these are your basic sliders that we've always seen in Madden, where you can adjust the passing. You got the QB accuracy, the pass blocking, wide receiver catching, then you got your rushing sliders, pass defense and rush defense. Visual feedback, this is nothing more than stuff you see on the screen when you're playing the game. Pre-snap menu, players' names, and the banners that come across the bottom. Alright, so let's get into some gameplay. And I probably won't get to do much gameplay on this video because I'm already at over 7.5 minutes. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop this video right here and pick up on the next video where we're actually doing some gameplay.